Despite its childish and wildly immature nature, Talking with Dinosaurs is not intended for children. It has blasphemy, sweary words, sexy talk, and bad thoughts. It is for entertainment purposes only, and while care has been taken to keep information as accurate as possible, paleontology is an ever-growing field with new data and theories constantly changing how we see these prehistoric monsters, so we can make no guarantees about accuracy. Not that it matters, paleontologists are just making it all up as they go along anyway. Also, Mum, I'm still very, very sorry. Yo, what up everyone, I'm back. You thought you had me down and out, but I'm here. And I'm talking with dinosaurs. Well, I'm Stefan, your host, and I'm talking about dinosaurs, not to them. This is episode 5, and if this is your first time, you're in for a treat. You know who else is in for a treat? Me! Because it's my birthday this week. Woo! What did you get me? Wait, no, don't tell me, let it be a surprise. I mean, you don't have to get me anything. There won't be any consequences if you don't, but, you know, I'm very pretty. I do deserve it. But even if you don't, I've got myself a treat, and that's this week's Choice of Dinosaur. I decided for my birthday to review the coolest dinosaur of all time, and it is a dinosaur, of that we can be damn sure. No Permian pretenders this week. This thick, juicy tail thumper of a tank beast was the absolutely devastating Ankylosaurus. This chubby champion has always been my 10 out of 10, 200% favourite dinosaur, to the extent that I plan on getting a tattoo of it, on my ankle of course, just makes sense, but I will try not to let it affect me. I always endeavour to be completely unbiased, except when it comes to tomatoes. They suck, and they are a garbage fruit. Ankylosaurus's name can be translated in many different ways, but my personal favourite is stiff lizard. If you combine its name with its type species name, Magnaventris, it means big belly. Big belly stiff lizard translates to Harvey Weinstein, a species of dinosaur I can't wait to go extinct. Ankylosauruses are pretty easy to identify. They're the big long ones with the armour and the tail clubs, the sort of beast that looks like it escaped from a Cretaceous version of Dark Souls because it was too OP. The armour covering its body were osteoderms, little ridges of bone that poked out of its skin. Similar things are found in modern crocodiles, which in a way means that all crocodiles have spooky skeletons outside, which makes them even more terrifying. Alligators are fine though. They're my bros. The massive club at the end of its tail was definitely used for bashing, being believed to be strong enough to shatter Tyrannosaurus's femur, which is a pretty strong deterrent. I don't know about you, but when I'm about to sit down for a hard-earned dinner at the end of a long day of downloading pictures of dinosaurs to glue to my walls, and my bowl of chicken udon suddenly hardens, forms a club shape and destroys my ability to walk, I tend to lose my appetite. Even without its natural armour, Ankies would have been really hard to make a meal out of, as they were quite flat on top, and at 1.7 metres tall and 1.5 metres wide, they were a very difficult shape to fit in your mouth. They were sort of like oversized whole potatoes of dinosaurs. Have you ever tried to stuff a whole potato in your mouth? I have. Good times. I could talk about potatoes, Ankylosaurus all day, but I would like to spend a little time on its relatives, two in particular. The first is Leoningosaurus paradoxus. This weird little buddy was only about a foot long and had a weird mixture of ankylosaur and nodrosaur characteristics. Nodrosaurs were another species in the ankyla family, but there'll be more on those folks in a second. Leoningosaurus is a very special wee dino friend, because not only is it believed to be semi-aquatic, but there's evidence to suggest it was an omnivore, and I don't mean in a oh, its teeth were shaped in such a way that they could potentially rend flesh sort of bullshit evidence. I mean stone cold, they found fossilised fish in its fossilised stomach sort of evidence. This is the first evidence that herbivorous dinosaurs later became carnivorous. Unfortunately, it's not conclusive, as the fish could have swum up there after it had died, or the wee fella could have popped his metaphorical clogs on top of them, trapping them and dooming to an eternal stone prison, despite their complete innocence. I assume they were innocent. I guess they could have been tiny prehistoric fish bank robbers or something. The other Ankylosaurus adjacent creature I wanted to talk about was a specific species of nodrosaur which I mentioned before. Now, nodrosaurs were very similar to ankylosaurs, except they didn't have badass tail clubs, they just had badass armour. They still looked awesome though. This one species was discovered in an oil sands mine in Alberta, Canada, 8 metres up a 12-metre cliff. At first they thought it was a fossilised plesiosaur, because no land creature had ever been found in the oil sands before. Researchers were amazed to discover, however, that this was no ancient marine reptile. This was a fully formed, three-dimensional ankylosaurid with soft tissue preserved perfectly in the rock, something that had never been seen before. This discovery would change paleontology forever. Needless to say, they were incredibly careful in removing it, and after a fortnight of quiet, precise excavation, they only dropped half of it onto the hard rock on the way down. After carefully recovering the broken pieces, this specimen was spirited away to the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Canada, where a dude named Mark carefully had chipped away the excess rock over a period of 5 years. This absolute champion spent almost 2,000 days chipping off bits of tiny rock to reveal this beautiful beast. I can't even pay attention for 2 days to write and record this podcast without getting distracted by shiny things in the corner. Hats off to Mark, who obviously did a fantastic job, because they named the species after him, Marky Machili. The revealed pieces showed a reddish-brown beast with some camouflage markings, which is quite interesting. It's good to know that no matter how big and armoured a dinosaur is, it's still got to hide from something. Now that's all my nattering out of the way. What rating should I give the Ankylosaurus? On the one hand, it's a brutally powerful armoured death machine with a gentle herbivore's demeanour, and on the other, well, nothing. It's got no faults. It is the perfect dinosaur. The only possible way it could be improved is if it was given a jetpack. Then it would be unstoppable. I'm going to give it a 1043 out of 10. With that done, let's move on to You Ask, I Cry. Ooh, how fancy is that? A short musical sting to separate sections. Aren't I getting fancy? Gosh, you must be impressed now, right? What do I need to do to get your validation? Sorry. Anyway, we're here in You Ask, I Cry, where you ask questions and I cry in frustration about how horrible and demeaning the questions are. I was a little light on questions this week, so don't forget to shoot any you have my way. I mean, don't literally shoot me with them with some kind of question cannon. It sounds horrible and dangerous, and it probably isn't covered by my insurance. I mean, where would you even get such a demented device? From Bill? I told you not to talk to him anymore. Gah. Anyway, on to the question. Phoebosaurus rex, who wanted to be called Brontosaurus burkaki in Brisbane, now I see the question, I see why she wanted a pseudonym, my bad, asks, were dinosaur orgies a thing? Well, thanks Phoebe, what a great question. To answer the question, I spent a lot of time on the deep web and creepy fan art sites. While I certainly learned a lot, especially about myself, I couldn't come up with a definite answer, so I emailed some of the world's most renowned dinosaur researchers to find out. Mysteriously, none of them answered me. I don't know what part of a random internet stranger emailing them demanding information on dinosaur sex parties inspired them not to return my request for communication, but I have a feeling it may have been under the direct order of the reptiloid Illuminati, who may have a vested interest in not letting us find out about dinosaur reproduction. In order to find out if dinosaurs had orgies, I was going to have to get down and dirty and do my own research. Through some creative Googling, I was able to discover that sometimes, very rarely, birds have been known to engage in group sex. So I mean, probably? I mean, come on, we're dealing with a period of time that stretches over 165 million years and probably contained hundreds of thousands of species of dinosaur. Of course, at least one of them would have liked to get its freak on in groups. Statistically speaking, it's completely unfeasible that there wasn't at least one menage a trois ceratops. And with that brings us to the end of this horribly pornographic dinosaur mess. Thanks again for coming and listening to me talk terrible toot about our prehistoric friends. If you really want to get me a super sweet birthday gift, feel free to show a friend the show and force them to listen to it until they love me. I thrive on your love. I need this. And don't forget to send your Cretaceous conundrums through to talkingwithdinosaurs@gmail.com. Tweet them with the hashtag TalkingDinoCast or just message the Facebook page. And remember, we're always available on the YouTubes and the iTunes and the Basefooks and most podcasty places you normally cast your pods. Anyway, I have to go research some more not dinosaur orgies. So I've been Stefan Ado and we've been talking with dinosaurs.